Hey there everyone, welcome to today's stream. We're going to be doing a second Build Jam stream today. So if you joined me and Russ here last week, we were working on the start of our new Build Jam. This is a really exciting Build Jam. It's the first one we've done with a prize pool. There's a $50,000 prize pool, so definitely go check that out and head over to our Discord if you're not there already. If you were with us last week, you'd have seen what we were working on. So I was making this kind of I guess steampunk style portal thing that's going on here. And we'll take a look at that in a second in play mode. And then Russ was making some kind of social space room here with a bunch of dioramas that could swap in the middle. But if I just go into preview, we can have a look at those a little bit better. Here we go. So yeah, last week I'd made this portal here. It doesn't actually do anything yet, so that's part of the job today, is to make this function as a portal. But it shows you a nice image kind of blended on the inside there. It's got some cogs moving around, thanks to MightyCo for his Mighty Animations package that I've used there. As you can see when I jump in, it's just a box. So we've got a bit of work to do today to make that work as an actual portal and then try and make it a little bit more interesting. And then over here we've got Russ's social space that spawns in the different dioramas, and we can just tap on this button over here to spawn in different ones. Unfortunately, Russ is away today, so he's not going to be continuing with this little project. But we'll be looking at my portal, and hopefully we might get another guest join a little bit later. Sean may be around. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it though, so we'll see how we get on. And do let me know if any of you guys have any Build Jam submissions or anything that you're working on at the moment that you want me to check out as well. And maybe near the middle or at the end of the stream we can go have a look at what you guys have been working on too. Alright, Sovereign Games, that's Slater Bburn, isn't it, says that you're playing an older stream with Russ's voice over the top of this. Well, I hope that's going well for you, Slater. It could get a little bit confusing. Please thumbs up the stream, it helps Adam's self-esteem. Thank you, Chris. I mean, the hub will probably be the same no matter how thumbs up. No matter how many thumbs up this stream gets. The self-esteem is going to stay the same. I'm sorry. Hopefully Russ is back next week and doing more streams instead of me. Alright, so I've got some notes here of what I want to do with this portal. First thing I want to do is a screen fade on jumping into the portal. So obviously a really important part of doing this Build Jam is that you can actually use other people's packages. As long as you credit them in part of your submission, you're quite welcome to bring in other packages like doors or, I don't know, any kind of logic or buildings that you want that other people have already published on the community tab into your game. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually grab my own screen fade package. There we go, Screen Fade by Crayta. I would highly recommend this package. 8 out of 10, probably. So now that I've checked that in, go have a look at our packages over here. Now this is really, really simple. Essentially, it's just something you can stick on the user, I think. Pretty sure it goes on the user. And you can just kind of tell it to do a screen fade. And if you want, you can pass a color and a time, or there's just defaults that it will go to for those values. So here we go, default color. I'm going to probably go for a light blue because I kind of want to match the portal color that we've got. Whoops. Okay, and then if I just open up this script, yeah, so I literally just have to call do screen fade. I can pass in a fade time and optionally hold time and color. In fact, I think all those are optional. Okay. So I'm going to have to hook that up to this portal now. There we go, there's my portal. Adam's portal do not touch because I was working with Russ and I got worried. So let's create a trigger child of this first of all. By the way, if there's anyone new watching this stream, I know we've had quite a few new people join the Discord today. Give us a shout in the chat. Let us know how you're getting on with Crayta, and if you've got any questions at all, I'll try and answer them as best as I can here today. Alright, let's stick that trigger there. We've got to make that a little bit bigger. 300, 300. How tall do we think this is? About 600. I think that's about right. seeing as I can't really see the bounds for it, I think, yeah, I think that's covered it exactly. So we'll call this, I don't know, portal trigger. Very inventive naming. Sovereign, is that to try and get a better hub next time? Because the flattery is irrelevant. You get in the same hub. Already designed it. I'm sorry. Okay, let's... Have we got a script on here already? We have, mechanical portal script. Okay, so let's do on player enter portal. Maybe on exit portal? On player enter portal. In fact, I probably won't do an exit portal because you should have already gone to another game. That's another bit of logic that I need to get to later on. So on player enter portal, pass in the player. That's going to be hooked up to our portal trigger. On trigger enter event, drag in Adam's portal do not touch. And on player enter portal. Okay, we want the user first of all. By the way, is the stream quality alright? I'm sure you'd tell me if it's not, but Streamlabs was complaining at me and showing red things, so hopefully it's all going okay. Right, so we're going to grab the user there, and then we can literally just say user center scripts. What's in our screen fade script? Do screen fade. Do I need to pass any of these values? Fade time is time to fade in. If one is passed, it will take 1 second. Hold time is optional. Okay, so I think fade time is not optional. You have to pass a fade time. That's cool, we can do that. Let's go for something pretty quick because we don't kind of want to see the player end up inside the portal. We kind of want it to fade really quickly and then instantly take them to the other game. So let's go with that value. And I imagine that should be it. Okay, cheers chat, it looks like the stream quality is good. Slaying, you've got a question about your creation, go for it. I'm just going to preview and see if the screen fade works. Yeah, any questions, just throw them at me. I'll see if I can answer them. Jump. There we go, that's not bad. Although it instantly goes away. So just in case you don't teleport immediately, I might give it a hold time of, let's say 2 seconds. And I might speed up that screen fade a bit as well. Plus, I don't think I quite got the right color there. So let's have a look in this widget and see what that color is exactly. That's our color, I think. Yep. That's why I use a screen fade. 120,255. That's a better color. And in this portal script, we're going to pass our next value, which if we look in the screen fade script should be the hold time. Going to pass in a hold time of 2 seconds. So let's quickly preview that again. See how we're getting on. And if I jump, oh, it stays on for 2 seconds. There we go. So that seems to work. Cool. Okay, that's looking good. That is the first of my notes. The next of my notes says actually go to a game. So that's probably a good thing for a portal to do. Now, so far on this portal script, have we got a game ID? We do have a game ID. Not sure what game I've set that up to be. Was it Canyon Miners or something maybe? So I'm going to want to add some code that will actually take the player to this game. I might as well just do that straight in here. So user go to game. There we go. Now you'll see there's actually an override for this function. So you can just pass in the game ID. So I'll do that first, self.properties.gameID. And then we've got this override here, travel failed callback. So when you see that a function takes a callback as an argument, a callback is basically another function that's going to get called under certain conditions. In this case, it's the travel failed callback. So that means this function that we write in as an argument here is going to get called in the case where you try to send someone to a game and for some reason they couldn't go to it and they've come back. That could be, you know, down to a bug or a connection issue or something. I don't think there's any kind of proper reason why that should happen, but just in case, we can do something here to sort that out. So let's have a locator that can kick players back out of this. That wants to be an entity. So then if the go to game fails for whatever reason that we can't imagine right now, we can just send that player back out. So player set position self.properties.kickoutLocator. So they're not just kind of stuck inside the portal, which would be a bit weird and not really something we want players to be able to see. So Slaying, your question is, the jam theme is builder base, and what you've made so far looks like a kind of construction set to build a city, and you're wondering if a city would be considered a base. Yeah, so I think with all of our build jams and game jams, the theme is kind of intended to be taken quite loosely. It's kind of more there for inspiration than saying you strictly have to do something that's literally this. Some people have really thought out the box before with previous things, and this, this is no different. You can kind of take the concept of base and think outside the box if you want. But making a city construction set sounds really good. Sounds like a really useful package, and it definitely fits the theme in this case. So I think that sounds really good. Dry Coast said teleport sound on the notes. No, it's not. Let me write that down. I'll do that in a bit because that's a good point. I always forget about audio because I've always got the audio off. But actually, we definitely want this teleporter to make a sound, don't we? So we've got our go to game function. I'll just test that quickly first. Now it's worth noting that when you try and send a user to another game in a preview session, so basically when you're like previewing from editor, that doesn't actually work because you've got to stay in the same server for being in the editor, but you should get something that says sending user to game, like that. However, it looks like I've got an error in my callback function. Expected user data received nil. Okay, so I think that callback function was actually expecting to send me something. Let me have a look. Oh no, sorry, it was within that callback function. What script are we in? In function set position, I'm passing this kickout locator, but I didn't actually set one, did I? No, that's still empty. So let's create a child locator of that. Call that the kickout locator. And let's just basically dump players outside of the portal. So it looks like when we're in preview, that callback function will get called actually. Because obviously being in preview, we can't actually go to the game, so it's going to call that function. So let's just test if that works quickly. If I preview, run and jump into my portal. Whoop, it hasn't put me outside. Oh no, why is it still sad? Oh, because I'm passing the entity. It's supposed to pass its position. You know what, I should really put the portal a bit further back so I spawn in front of it. Yeah, there we go. So that's kicked me back out. I think I might schedule it to wait 1 second, because if you look closely when I jump, you can see I'm instantly pushed back out of it. And at least for the editor, it'd be nice if I do a schedule there and have it wait for 1 second. So a schedule is basically just a way of essentially running code outside of the main thread, if you like, the main loop of code, so that you can do things like waiting for a second and it's not going to hold up the execution of your whole game. So I'm going to add a 1 second wait into there before I boot out the player. Self-schedule function and there. Let's give that a quick test. I meant to move the portal, didn't I? And jump. There we go. So it looks like I went into the portal, but then I end up back outside of it when the screen fade goes away. That's pretty good. Let's take our portal back the other side of the spawn. Whoa. Apparently these are not attached. And yet I'm the one who always criticizes Russ for his world tree organization. Let's stick that at -1000. Okay. Alright, I think this is looking good. So the next thing that we mentioned is teleport sounds. So let's go add a new sound property into here, teleport sound, and the type there is a sound asset. That's if we want to drag in a sound directly from the library. But I'm just thinking this might be better off as an entity actually, so that we can have better control over things like the pitch and the range. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to say is equals sound. Now when you add that to an entity property, basically it'll only let you choose something that is actually of that type, and you can do like is locator, is camera, and so on. So if I just add a teleport sound in here, what have we got? What does that sound like? Hopefully everyone can hear that all right. Takes a while to build up though. I might go for that one instead. And then if we go look at this property that I've said has to be a sound, you'll see it'll only let me select the teleport sound. It won't let me choose any of the other entities on this portal. Okay, let's lift that up a bit. Then we can adjust its ranges. So we probably don't need people miles away to hear it, but we can boost the minimum a bit so people kind of close will hear you teleport. What if I change the pitch? I think I'll go for 0.7 actually. That kind of works. I'm going to turn up the audio a bit so you guys can hear that better. Where's my sound? There we go. Hopefully we can hear that. Now I want to actually activate and deactivate this sound. So on init, we want to say self.properties.teleport sound.active equals false. So we immediately want to make the sound deactive so that it's not just playing straight away. Then when a user actually teleports, we want to play the sound. And then under here, do a schedule so that we can wait for a bit. I've realized I prefer writing schedule and function on the same line. It just kind of keeps it neater so you don't have to do a double indent when you're not really adding much more code. In here we want to say, make it false again. There we go. Okay, so that's a sound for actually using the teleporter, but I think the other thing we want to have is kind of an ambient sound around the teleporter, so as you approach it, it kind of feels a bit more powerful and like something's going on. So if we create another sound child, ooh, has anyone got any good ideas here for what this kind of ambient sound could sound like? I'm going to look for loops. Probably not a cuckoo. What have we got? I quite like the deep bassy ones. I don't think Boulder Rumble's quite right, but I do like ones which are a little bit more ominous, because this is quite a foreboding structure, isn't it? It's all black and kind of quite chunky, so it'd be cool to have something bassy. Not that. Are these? I kind of like this one. What else we got? Gravity gun. Ooh, that's good. Draco says there's a hum. Do you know what the hum's called? Or maybe I'll search for a hum. I'm gonna drop that on for now though, because I really like that sound. Again, let's probably bump up that range a bit. It's quite quiet. shift it to the same place as the other. Oh, it stopped. If I change the pitch. Oh, that's a bit nasty. Might just bump it down a bit. That's good. I like that sound there. I'll search for the hum, see what the hum is. Oh no, not the human ones. There's this industrial machine hum. That's also quite good. There's probably no reason that we can't layer sounds up. Oh, and then there's Space Props power hum. Possibly a bit sci-fi for this. Can everyone hear these alright, by the way? I'll bump up the volume again to full, just to try and make sure. What would I call this one? Machine hum. And, I don't know, sci-fi hum. Sounds a little bit more sci-fi. Oh, does that sound not loop? Oh no, maybe it does. Cool, okay, let's see if all those sounds work, including the one where you actually jump into the portal. No. The one where I jumped in did not work. Oh, it sounds like that gravity gun hum doesn't actually last. Maybe I'll have to take that one off and go with the machine hum. I think that's probably just a bug that we need to have a look into. Hello. Thanks for joining the stream. Have you signed up to the build jam yet? Or made a submission even? I noticed on the jam site actually there's already 47 submissions, so that's quite cool. There's a lot of people. Well, there's 47 people joined anyway. If anyone hasn't got the link, it's there in chat. Nice portal, thank you. Hopefully it'll be a little bit nicer by the end of this stream as well. And yeah, for anyone that's joined since the start, I'm going to be working on this portal for most of the stream, but if anyone's got any build jam submissions that they're working on, or that they've kind of already finished and they want me to go and check out at the end of the stream, do let me know in the chat and I'll try and have a look at those. And obviously any questions or anything about the jam as well, give me a shout and I'll let you know the answers. Alright. So why did my sound not work? My teleport sound dot active equals true. Where's my teleport sound? I chose this. Did everyone know you can do this, by the way? When you've got an entity property, you can press that button and it selects the entity. It's quite a cool use. Oh, it's Tumbak. Hi, Tumbak. Okay. So it's definitely there. If I deactivate and activate, that should work. Self.properties.teleportSound.active equals true. Ah, because I immediately deactivated it. I forgot to put a wait in here. Let's wait for, I don't know, 3 seconds. Right, let's give this a go. So there, we can hear the hum as we approach it. That sounds quite cool, I think. And then if we jump, that works. That all seems to be working quite nicely. Right, so let's drop back now. And on to the next one of my notes, which is an opening animation on approaching. Well, I've got two similar notes actually. I want an opening animation. So I want something to happen when you kind of approach the portal, so it looks off until someone comes within the trigger area and then it kind of all activates. And I also want to fade on the UI on approaching it as well. I'm I might try and animate something first. Now I did quite similar logic when I made my mech snake, which was for that Clockwork Contraption build jam, like the Mechanical Revolution one. And I don't think I strictly packaged up these scripts. I packaged the whole mech snake, but I wrote some scripts here that would basically just animate things based on whether anyone was in the trigger, and then kind of play the opposite animation when you leave the trigger. So I'm just going to head over here and grab those scripts quickly. In fact, while I'm here, I might as well quickly show how this worked as well for anyone that missed it before. Because this is kind of another, I guess, build jam submission, which is quite a cool package, in my opinion anyway, I would say that. So if I just preview now, you see that trigger box that was around the snake's head? So that checks for any players being in it, and as a player enters, we get various things animate. So there's rotations and there's movements, and I can't remember if there was any actual mesh animations. I think it was just rotations and movements. There we go. And it kind of deals with people running in halfway through it animating as well, which is quite handy, and that should be a good set of scripts to use for this portal as well. Let's drop back to the editor. Now, what did we use? I just want to have a look at how this worked first of all. There must be a trigger somewhere. Approach trigger. There we go. Oh, I called it a mech snake script. In fact, possibly the easiest way to do this is just to import the whole package into the game I'm working on, because then I'll have all the scripts already rather than try and like copy and paste each one over. Builder base, that's where we were. So Drycoast says, is that a schedule cancel? Good question. Yes? Let's have a look. Let's import the package and take a look at what I was actually doing there, because I can't quite remember. I think it's called Mech Snake. Who was it? Who made Nuclear Gear Snake? Was that Stroke? However you pronounce that name. I think it was you. You imported this mech snake into that game as well, didn't you? So players could actually kind of go up into their head and then go and see like the leaderboards from that, which was really cool. So if I take a look at the assets here, I don't really need the whole template, I just need some of these scripts. Here we go, I called it once rotate and move script. So basically I made a copy of the rotate and move script and just adjusted it to do a play forward and play backward. Now, what actually happened here? So I set up start and end positions and rotations. I'd play relative timelines. Maybe just playing another timeline cancels the previous one? Is that how this works? Then the mech snake script. So on trigger enter, I say open door, and that just says on open send, which basically just goes to play forwards and play reverse. Okay. No, maybe I didn't need to cancel the timelines. I think I just kind of play the timelines back. But what I do is, where is it? I kind of get the position and rotation that it's already at. So rather than going from the start position again, so say it's, what have we got? Say it's closed and it starts opening and you walk out of the trigger straight away. It then takes the position where it's half open and closes from there. Admittedly still taking the same amount of time, I think, rather than kind of going to the fully open position and closing. What I'm going to do, I think, is actually take a copy of the mech snake script, because I don't want to call mech snake script, that's weird, and I don't want to mess up my original one in case I break it. So let's call this, I don't know, trigger animation script, something a bit more generic. Okay, so let's attach my trigger animation script to this. Why am I creating a child? I want to add trigger animation script. Hello, Sean C. Good to see you on the stream. And who's that? Vicent AR. Hello. Okay. Just realised I don't actually know what I want to animate here. I think I want to add some kind of front to this portal that opens. In fact, I've just realised we've got these kind of cylinders here that look like they'd be quite good for a hinge if we had doors on this. Yeah, so let's try and create a door for this portal so that as players approach from a slightly wider area, we'll add a new trigger for that. The doors open and then the teleporter UI will fade in. Let's filter by mechanical revolution. That's kind of the theme I was going for with all this. Now, what's a good one? I think some of these walkways might actually make a good door. How big are they? I just drag that onto there. Move it out a bit. Would that work as a door? Potentially. It's quite a good size actually. That kind of fits exactly. But it's a little bit see-through, so I'm wondering what I can do about that. Yeah. Is this going to work? I think that could work. Alright, so I'm going to want to add maybe a bit of backing to this so it's not completely see-through. In fact, it would be nicer if I spin it around. Kind of go from the other way. So I'm adding something into here. So then I can just kind of decorate this. How does that look? That might be a bit big. Yeah, I think this kind of effect could work actually. Let's maybe push those up. And it looks like they're disconnected, so I'm going to want to turn this. How much do I have to turn it? How many teeth are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 1/4 says 24 teeth. 360 degrees divided by 24 is apparently 15 degrees I want to turn this by. Let's see if that works. It's going to be there. Nope, it's not going to be there. Minus 75. Nope, it's not that one either. Oh, it's at a weird orientation. So it's this. Oh no, 15 degrees is each tooth. So if I turn it by 7.5 degrees, there we go. Now the teeth kind of line up nicely. Cool. The other thing I might do when I'm animating this actually is, as well as the door opening, I might animate these wheels to turn. That would look quite cool. So it kind of looks like something's working as the door is opening. I'm going to make a locator parent for this door because I don't want it to turn. If you look at where this would turn, it's just kind of about its center point, and I don't want that. So I'm going to, where's my new locator? I'm going to call this a portal door. I'm going to move that to where a hinge would go essentially. So that would be about there. I'll add that. And then if we rotate about that point, there we go. That opens nicely, I think. Cool. So now, let's see if I can get my old scripts from the mech snake to work. So they were once rotate and move script, and that's it. So rotation end. My rotation is 0, 0, 0. How much do I want to open? Maybe there. Minus 135 in the Y. I can't type. No movement, and you can obviously choose the different like easing types as well. So let's go for ease in out. Generally recommend ease in out for most movements, unless there's a specific reason to use another type, ease in out will just make everything look nicer. The movement is going to gradually speed up and then gradually slow down as it gets towards the end, and that often looks nicest. And how long should it take? Whoops. I feel like this is quite a grand thing, this portal opening, so it should maybe take a couple of seconds. It shouldn't be like, bam, instant. It should be 1, 2, 3. Let's go 3 seconds for that. And then these gears we've got in here, what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to do one as a template. So do a once rotate and move script. Obviously want this to take 3 seconds as well. Want it to be ease in out, and we want to rotate by, let's go 360 in the Y, and we want to keep it at -90 there so that doesn't get affected. 3 seconds, ease in out. Let's call it a door gear. Lift that up a bit. I always like renaming things for some reason. It's not really that vital, but well, actually, when you're packaging something up, it's always nice to have a kind of sensible naming in that package. So what am I calling this one? Portal door mesh. Not very inventive. My door gear. Because I've lifted it up there, it's no longer kind of obeying this mesh's rotation. So actually, it's at a more sensible rotation. So I can take away that -90. It's just going to rotate by 360. Let's make this a template first. So my door gear, create new template, door gear. Copy and paste that, and let's drop it to the bottom. Now those two want to rotate the same way, but the one in the middle we want to rotate in the opposite direction. So what are these rotating by? They're going to rotate, what do you call this one? Pitch. They're going to rotate in pitch, aren't they? So just realized I actually want that to be 360 in pitch, not in yaw. There's our door gear 2. There, so that's at 7.5, but 7.5 minus 360, because we want to go minus 360 degrees, so we want to go to minus 352.5. As Russ said before, I love my maths. I've always got to try and include a bit of maths in a stream. Okay, so now we need this to actually activate. So let's stick a big trigger on this. You know, I'm going to copy the position that this one's at because I think I centered that nicely. There. Did you know you can just right click to copy positions and copy rotations? Quite handy. And let's call this one approach trigger. So this is going to be quite a bit bigger. Let's go maybe, no, we need more than that. 1200 by 1200 by, how tall is this thing? Like 600. Yeah, so as I'm approaching about there, it's going to open. We'll see how that feels when we preview, see if that's working for us. I'm not convinced by this being that way around, actually. I wonder if it would look better that way. Actually, yeah, I think that will look better, so that the cogs are kind of slightly obscured by the mesh. That looks quite nice. Okay, so those are all set up. All we need to do now is tell the approach trigger that a player has entered and has left it. And then we hook that up to the script I made before, my trigger animation script. And we want to say on trigger enter, trigger animation script, on trigger exit. Okay, then the other thing that script does is it kind of tracks the number of players in the trigger as well. So a common problem with a simple kind of trigger script for something like a door is if you have two players go in, then there's an on-trigger enter and it'll open. But if one player leaves and it calls on-trigger exit and therefore closes, the other player's still in there. So actually, that script kind of tracks how many players are there, and it'll only close if there's no one in it. If you wanted that logic for a door, by the way, I'm just going to promote more of my packages. Door multiplayer by me handles that logic for you as well. Okay, now this script, it just calls the functions open, the events open and close. It doesn't actually like directly go to any of my animation scripts. So what I can do in here is select my once rotate and move script, both cases, and play forward when you enter, or sorry, when the door opens, and play reverse when the door is closing. Now, a nice thing about event properties, is you don't actually have to select an entity. So I could select a specific entity, like the portal door, for example. But if I don't do that, I just select a script, it's going to call this function on all instances of the script. So that's quite handy to know. Okay, let's go for just one door. See how it works. And see if it works. Dun 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 dun. It works. And if I exit, it doesn't. Why doesn't the exit work? That's weird. Da, 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 da. That looks quite cool when it opens. Whoa. That was weird. No one saw that. It opens happily. Ah, although they're ending up meshing over each other, which isn't ideal. And then it kind of doesn't come back when it closes. Oh, I think I know why, because they've already gone to... Yeah, they've already gone to 360 degrees, which is essentially the equivalent of 0 degrees. So then it thinks they're going from 0 to 0, which obviously isn't a thing. So they don't move. So let's see what we can do about that. I reckon if I start them at 180... Nope. If I start them at minus 180, that is not the same thing as 180 degrees, but they're still going to rotate through 360 degrees. So let's copy that. And the one at the bottom, let's also start at minus 180. It's going to end at 180. Then this one, we want it to be 7.5 out, so minus 187.5. Yes. And we want to start it at 172.5, 180 minus 7.5. Maths. Let's see how that goes. They're opening nicely. That's still gone wrong somehow. I must have done something wrong with my maths. And if I exit, they go weird. Okay, so I think it's getting confused with the rotations, because there's kind of two ways of representing a rotation. What do I do? What do I do? In fact, if I just rotate them less, they don't need to do 360 degrees, do they? They could quite happily do 180, or they could even do 90, to be honest. So if that starts at 90 and just goes to 0, copy that to the template. This one, not that one, this one also starts at 90. It's trying to go to 0. And then this one starts at 7.5. And it's trying to go to 97.5. Let's have a look. It might look a little bit more kind of broken. It might look more broken. Why is that happening? Don't worry, I won't dwell on the door gears too long if they're still refusing to work. What if I just go to like minus 45, what would it be, 52.5? Up to 45 minus 7.5, that would be 37.5. Does that go wonky as well? Turns. And if I exit. Yeah, that's happy. That doesn't go wonky. So let's try something similar with the other two. So if that, which way is this going? This is going from a, so this is going in a positive direction. So let's take these in a negative direction. So going from 45 to minus 45. Copy those values and let's make sure this one's set up to go from 45. It will work. Ready? Da, 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 da. Why is that one going wrong? Very confused. And then they go back nicely. But why is that one rotating by the wrong amount? Surely it needs to... Have I done bad maths? If anyone is watching and can see the problem with my maths, please explain what I'm doing so wrong. They're rotating by 90 degrees. Yes. What's 90 minus 52.5? 37.5, yes, so that should be working. Okay, well I don't quite understand that, but anyway, I can come back to that later. Next thing I want to do is take my portal door. I will template that so I can make another one. Call it portal door. Okay, copy paste. And then I wonder, do I flip it that way? Yeah, so it's a minus 180, minus 180, and then if I go like that, where did I want it to open to? What was 180 minus 135? 45, obviously. Right. So minus 45 is where it's going to. So it's aiming for minus 45. 180 is going to start at 180, 180. Okay, and because this script here is just calling it on any once rotate and move script, it's calling that function, then we don't actually need to hook up anything else there. Just by those scripts existing, they should automatically work with this. Wowee! That didn't work. What did I do? 180, 180 to minus 45, 180. Oh no, that likes being at minus 180 to begin with. Okay, let's give that a go. Gotta love rotations. What are you doing? Why are you going all weird? Okay, maybe I won't try it at minus 180. I'll just make it go the right way up. It's going to go out to, it's opening like that. It's also going to go to 135. And I'll just move the other bits in instead. Preview. Oh, come on. Don't do this to me. Did I forget to change this? Oh, I did. Minus 135. Is that where it's going? No, that's too far back. We're going to 135 on this side. This is the one. Yes, perfect. There we go. There's our opening portal. And it closes nicely too. Thanks, Chris, for the lol. But hey, we got there in the end, despite the difficulties. Cool, so that's working quite nicely now. You know, the other thing this really needs actually, as it opens, I think, is effects. That would be cool. Just thinking, I'm going to need the effects to play, like to be activated when it opens. And I think I have a useful package for this. This stream is just me promoting my own packages. Playing scripts, really useful. 10 out of 10 this one. Definitely recommend it. Really simple scripts. We have a look in it. Look, I've even favorited it and everything. I'm going to favorite that and that. Nice. Okay. You'll see it's basically just got 3 play scripts: play animation, play sound, and play effect. If I have a look at any one of these, we can basically say play, stop, or toggle. So that's going to work really nicely with our kind of open door event that we've got. So when we open the door, we probably want an effect to play, and when we close it, we want the effect to stop. What's going to be a good effect? I think we had some cool ones for Mechanical Revolution. Oh, we haven't got tags in the effects library. But was there like the kind of Tesla lightning effect? That was quite cool. Let's lift that up. What does that look like? Yeah, that is a cool one. But where's that going to work best in this contraption? I'm going to take my doors away because I can't really see. Train steam would look cool. That's a very good point. Yeah, the train steam kind of jets out, doesn't it? So I'm gonna... Oh, it's kind of got lighting on it as well. That looks awesome. I think I'll put one down there. Let's call this opening lightning. So when the portal's active, we kind of got all of that going on. That'll look really nice. And that's a looping effect as well. Train steam. Do you mean the train steam on the hinges? I think that's what you mean. And yeah, that would look really cool. And then let's add my play effect script. Effect. Well, it's just this. This effect. Wait, what? Oh, it's a thing that wants to play an effect like that. I can't even remember how my own packages work. Okay, wouldn't recommend. 4 out of 10. Yeah, so it can play it and it can stop it. What does stop effect do? It says stop effect. Maybe that will work. Yeah, will that work? Or do I want... So some kind of activation package instead. That's not it. Some kind of toggle. If not, to be honest, I can easily write my own. I'll just do that. Okay, so I basically want a script that can toggle the active property on something. Active toggle script. Okay. Let's have one for... No, in fact, we don't need a property for whether it starts active because you can just set that yourself. Then we have activate. I'm going to say self get entity dot active equals true and deactivate equals false. In fact, you know what I will do? A default, because it might be a little bit easier to just have a default of false in the script, because I'm going to want all these to be false rather than setting each one. So default active type equals Boolean. My default there is false. And then if, in fact, I'm going to add another function that will probably be useful, not immediately, for what I'm doing here, because I'm just going to call activate and deactivate from the event. But if I say switch active is active, I can say if is active So if we're active, activate. If we want to be deactive, deactivate. Cool. Then we don't need that there. We can just say self switch active. Self.properties.default active. There we go. So let's have a look. Our default is false. But then we want to activate when the door opens. Okay. Probably don't need to template that entity. That's quite a simple one. Where have I put it? Yeah, I kind of put it in the girder, haven't I? I think I'm going to add these individually. Hey Hisokan, how are you doing? So let's add both of the lightnings and say activate. Same again here. I'm just doing this individually in case there's like an effect that I want to deactivate when the portal opens. I'm not sure if there will be. Oh, in fact, I can use this script for a sound when the doors open as well. That might be a good idea. So yeah, when the door's closing, we want to deactivate those. Let's just check those work, and assuming they do, we'll then add the train steam stuff as well. Doors are in the right place. Let's go. We approach, and the effects become active. There, so that's looking like quite a serious portal now. And if we jump, there we go. We get teleported to nowhere because we're obviously previewing. And you'll see those Tesla effects kind of quite quickly disappeared as the door started to close as well, which is nice. So there, they appear, we exit and they disappear. Awesome. Yep, so I think next thing I'll do is add the train steam to the doors opening like you suggested, Dry Coast, I think. I think it was Dry Coast suggestion. And then I'll add a sound for these doors opening as well. So what have we got? Train. Steam train plume sounds correct. What does that look like? Well, that's quite intense actually. That's kind of coming out the top of a steam train, isn't it? This thing's obviously steam powered, as we all know, because you know it's got cogs and pipes. But that might be a bit too much steam. So the wheels maybe? I think that's the one we want, isn't it? I rotate that a bit. In fact, if I attach that to each door, I think that would look more cool. Because then as the door kind of slides open, the bottom can be having steam coming out, which is going to look like it's kind of pushing up dirt. Search steam instead. Oh, there's all sorts. Ah, okay. What does this one do? Oh, that's quite a slow thing. Steam vents sidewalk, steam pressure valve. That's quite cool. Which one did you mean, Dry Coast? Steam whistle. I think that looks quite cool for it opening as well. Oh, maybe the pressure valve thing at the top. Oh, that'd be cool actually. We could add like chimneys to this. I'll do that. So I'm going to use, which one's that? Steam pressure valve. Let's make this look a bit more steam powered. So let's find something in Mechanical Revolution that's going to make it look not like a big chimney like that. That's too much. But like a little bit of piping or something at the top. Oh, I could also animate the pistons. That would be pretty cool. The sidewalk one is the cool one. Where is a good... I wonder what that looks like actually. Kind of got a hole in the top. I can see that working. I wonder if anything can go around it. That could go on the top of it. That could go at the base. It's quite fun actually, just to kind of kit bash random things that we've got. Ooh, this looks like it could be cool. There we go. That's a pretty kind of steampunky chimney, isn't it? So this is our portal chimney. And we want the steam to come out of that. What was the steam called? Pressure valve or something? Create a child, effect, steam pressure valve. We want that to come out the top as our portal opens. Yeah, that's going to look nice. Chimney steam. Sidewalk is the one in a line. Oh yeah, the sidewalk steam effect. I'll try that in a second then on the door hinges. Once I've got this working. So how far back do we want these to go? In fact, I wonder if it'd be cool if they kind of stick up slightly. Stick out slightly at like odd angles. So I'm wondering about rotating that by, let's go to like, yeah, rotate it by 20 degrees. Can it be seen from the inside? Yeah, it can a bit actually. Lift that slightly. 362.5, just lift it by half a voxel. I think that's going to look cool. Let's template it. Portal chimney. Cool. Copy, paste. Stick one on the other side. Want to rotate it the other way, so 70. That one's got a weird rotation actually. Let's just go 110. There we go. That's looking pretty sci-fi-y. And then we want to hook up those effects to our approach script. So on the door opening, we want to add two things. We want to add both of these. Is this the best way of finding them? Probably not. Where are these? I've lost my chimneys. Oh, they're children of portal backing plate. I'll just move them up a layer into this. Portal chimney 1, chimney steam. I didn't add the script to it. Where's my portal chimney? Let's go to the template and add that script that we just wrote. What was it called? Active toggle script. There we go. And default, obviously we're going to leave off. We don't want the steam coming out of these as standard. So we want our active toggle script there, and we're going to activate. Same again for this one. I want to make sure I select the other portal chimney steam effect and activate that. And then here, chimney steam. Ooh, I've gone too far. Chimney steam. Deactivate and deactivate. Okay, let's just have a look at how that's looking. There we go. Can I just move back with my character? Boom. Oh, and they're kind of random as well, so the whole time the portal's open, there's kind of steam shooting out at random intervals. That's very cool. And then they'll stop when it closes. Nice. Okay, now we want the sidewalk steam effect to come out of the hinges. Steam vent sidewalk. Oh, that's quite big. Oh, but it kind of leaves a trail as it goes. Ooh. Ooh, I like that. I want that to kind of be on the edges of the doors, I think. Let's go to a portal door. And let's drop that onto there. I actually want that to come out the bottom. Ooh, I've gone too low with that. There we go, down the bottom. Wrong one. Which one were you thinking? I feel like I've tried them all now. Maybe wheels. Yeah, I tried wheels as well. But no, I think this one's actually going to work better. So door steam, let's add our script again. Okay, let's just apply that to the template. Now obviously that one's moving across. Is it just me or is the steam kind of blowing to the right? So I'm going to spin that 180 so the steam kind of moves to the left instead. Maybe that's just me, maybe I'm wrong, but oh well, we'll go with that. Yep. Okay, so then we want to hook up both of those again into our events. So a couple of opens into here, into the portal door this time. Have both those open to the door steam. Activate again the door steam. Activate. And down here, we'll deactivate them. Was that on the second one? Did I get the right one there? Door steam. Deactivate. Okay, now before we check that, I also want to add the door sound, don't I? So let's have a look. Maybe something like door will work. Is there space doors? That might sound good. That's quite impactful. That is a cool sound. I like that. Steam train door. Oh, they're just like little ones. Ooh. I am enjoying the sound of that. Okay, so let's call that one our opening sound. What I'm actually going to want on this, I'm going to want that to play on opening, aren't I? And then I'm going to probably want a different sound to play again on closing. Or maybe that sound to play again on closing. No. I'll do a different sound to play on closing, I think. Yeah, so that's our opening sound. Let's move that up a bit. So I can use my playing script for this, I think. Oh no, no. That's not what the playing script does. Yeah, you know what I'll do? Is actually, I'll just create a child locator with a couple of... Yeah, I'll create a couple of these and they'll just play the sounds. I don't need to adjust the sounds too much. So, what am I typing there? Opening sound player. Add script. No, it's not a new script. It's my play sound script. That's going to play... what was it called? Is it this one of these? That one. That's going to play when we open, and on closing, I'll play a different sound. Closing sound player. I will play. What else have we got? What have we got here? That is quite an impactful sound as well. Okay, let's hook those up and we'll give it a listen. So my opening sound player, I'm going to play that, and then my closing sound player, we're going to play that. Back for both of those, I'll move them up just into the middle. Let's see how this looks. That is quite smoky actually. That may be a bit too much smoke. And it kind of instantly turns on as well. I might see if there's another smoke that I can use there. Whatever that first one was it wheels? Might have been quite good. Yeah, let's have a look at changing that smoke. So that's quite big. And the thing is, it kind of obscures the portal image a bit when it's open, which is not ideal. Let's see what we got. Steam vent. Oh, that's very small. Yeah, too much. Steam whistle. I wonder if that was coming out of the hinges, would that look better? Maybe we don't want something at the floor. That does look pretty cool. I might try that. And it looks, is that directional? Can I? Yeah. Yeah, see, that's directional. So I can force that to kind of shoot out away from the portal. So let's go with that and then make sure this one's facing the right way. Where's that going? Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. Oh, had I already turned one? Oh yeah, that's why it's working. Yeah, there we go. We've got a bit of smoke coming out. But it's not massive, although it's kind of going into the portal. Maybe I'll spin them around, because as the doors open, yeah, they kind of point outwards. Let's spin both of those. Let's go and adjust this one to actually be 180, go the other way. Then the one on here, I'll reset that to 0. In fact, another thing I want to do is I want to make this approach trigger slightly bigger. Because I feel like I have to get too close for it to open. There we go. That leaves like a nice trail of steam as it opens. The steam's coming out of the doors, but it's not really getting in the way too much, so that's quite nice. I think the position of that might be wrong. That's kind of on the back of the door. That's inside the door. Though on the back of the door works better, actually. I might put that one to the back. Okay. Let's move that effect to the back. Where was it? There. Right, and then I think, yeah, the only other thing I've got written down here is fade the UI on when you approach. Now that could be more tricky. Let's have a look. I've actually got 3 UI widgets in here. What I'm going to do is move my doors back out of the way so we can see it again. Um, now what have I got? That's just a widget. That's being driven by this. This one has its own script, does it? Oh no, that is literally just a widget. Okay. I think what I can do here is I can just make a new script that's going to fade the UI. UI fader script. UI fader script. Probably have to tell it what widget it's looking for. Name equals my widget. Type equals widget asset as a property. So then on this one, for example, we're looking at a projection game widget. What did you miss, Splogster? If you've only just joined, did you see the portal? If not, you'll see it in a few minutes when I come to preview again. But yeah, Russ is away today, so I'm just carrying on with my build jam submission. Working on this portal thing, so I've tried to make it a bit more lively, added some effects and some animations and sounds to it. And now I'm going to work on when the doors open, the UI is going to fade in. And then when the doors close again, the UI is going to disappear. So the kind of portal itself is only active at the time that the doors are open. All right, so function UI fader script. Now the interesting thing about this is it's going to have to be done on the client side. So fade in, UI fader script, fade out. Let's just mark this as client side things. The other thing I'm going to want is a client init here. By the way, if there's anyone watching and like not following along with the code or anything, because I know I've kind of switched around a bit on this stream between some building and some coding, just shout in the chat or in Discord or wherever. Ask any questions you've got. We're all here to help, and we should be able to answer any questions. Yeah, it is high tech. It's kind of a steampunk sci-fi portal thing. Hopefully it's quite cool. Should make a nice package as well. So on client init, I want to say self.widget opacity equals, let's do a start opacity and set that to 0 by default. Start opacity type equals number, min equals 0, max equals 1. Default is 0. So let's start at our start opacity equals self.properties.start opacity. Let's get our widget. So self.widget equals self.getEntity, find widget, self.properties.myWidget. So we can search by widget asset. Our widget opacity is that, and then we're going to say self.widget js.data.opacity equals self.widget opacity. Now I'm going to have to make sure I've actually got an opacity value in this. I don't. So opacity, let's go for 1. Actually no, let's go for 0.5 to check this is going to work. And then the container data bind style opacity equals data.opacity. There we go. You can see that's more transparent than the other two around it. And if I change that opacity to 1, and we're back. So I'm going to leave it as 1, but it's just good to know that that part works. So then on fade in, probably want this to happen for all clients, don't we? So if is server. So if we're still on the server by the time this is called, which is going to happen because obviously the portal trigger logic is happening on the server, then we want to send to all clients to say fade in so that this logic can run on all the clients. Oh, we need a fade time as well. name equals fade time, type equals number, let's say a default of, the doors take 3 seconds to open. Then probably want this to take 3 seconds. That would make sense. So then in here, now that we're on the client, we can't be on the server anymore, or we'd have fallen into this one, so we must be on the client now. Let's do a schedule and set up a little timer while t is less than self-dot. Oh no, local t equals 0. While t is less than our fade time, we will do t equals t plus wait. So wait is just going to return the amount of time that that frame took, essentially. T being our little timer. And then we want to say self.widget. Actually, my start opacity I want to take here, because like I've done with the animations, if you walk in and before it finishes opening, or before the widget finishes turning on, you walk out again, I don't want it to suddenly flick to like full opacity and come back down. I want to just go from the opacity we're at. So local start opacity equals self dot widget opacity, and then my end opacity is, in this case, what's it going to be? It's going to be, we're fading in, it's going to be 1. Just realized a better way of doing this is to make a function that's going to do both fades and just take those values. So start opacity, end opacity. And then we'll just call that from here. So self, fade, start opacity, end opacity. There we go. Within here, self dot widget opacity, we're going to go math.lerp. Lerp stands for linear interpolation, which is a confusing way of saying go some amount between numbers A and B. So number A, we want to be our start opacity. Number B, we want to be our end opacity. And then we want to know how far to go between those two numbers. So that's going to be t, our current time, over our total time. So basically, what portion of the fade time are we through? Then we have to actually set that. So self.widget.js.data.opacity equals self.widget opacity. And just for good measure, at the end of that schedule, I'm going to say, just force it to the end opacity. It should have already reached it, most likely by that point, or it may not quite be there. So that's just going to force the widget into exactly the right opacity at the end. Okay, let's copy that for our fade out. In this case, we want our end opacity to be 0. Obviously, we want to send fade out to all the clients. Nearly there. The only other thing I want to do is actually say self.fade schedule equals this, and then we'll check if there's a fade schedule running, and if there is, we'll cancel it. Let's make sure it doesn't stay around when it's done. So if self.fade schedule, then cancel it. Okay. Right, that's going to hopefully work for the projection game widget because we've given it an opacity value. But like I said, there's actually 2 different widget files going on here. Let's add our script first of all. UI fade script. My widget here is just a projection widget. Same fade time, same start opacity. And then in here, it looks like I haven't actually used the data model here at all. Let's call it data. We've set an opacity, and then we'll say data bind style opacity equals data opacity. Should probably just double check that actually works. So if I set that to like 0.1. Yep, that works. Okay, and finally I've got the bottom one. I need to add the UI fade script there as well. And that also needs to find the projection widget. Okay, now I need to hook up all three of those into our events. This is getting to be quite a big event. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So let's go. Let's find these. Maybe I can just search for them. So if I say projection, hopefully that narrows these down. So yeah, got projection UI 1. Oh, I've got to do the search again. Got projection UI 2. Fade in, fade in. What did I call the last one? Portal something? Widget? Maybe if I search for widget. No, what did I call it? What's that called? Oh, game image UI. None of the words I was searching. Game image UI, there we go. Fade that in, and same again to fade them back out as well. So we want our two projection UIs. And our game image UI. Oops, fade out, and fade out. Right, that was quite a bit of coding with no testing. Let's see if it worked. Place your bets now. Did any of that actually work? Let's go for a preview. Alright, so if you look closely through those doors, you can see the portal UI is not active. Give you a slightly closer look. And as we approach, it should become active. Yes! It worked first time. Make a wish. And it fades out. It fades out as well. Oh my god. I gotta do it one more time. I can't believe it worked first time. Fade in. Fade out. Okay. That was weird. The only other thing I want to do now with this is, if you look at that, when the widget fades in and out, you can still see those blue projection lights. See at the top, they're just kind of on all the time. They look really cool for the projection. You don't want them staying on when the projection's gone, because it kind of still looks like they're projecting something, and that's not right. So I'm going to want to fade those as well. Now the question is, do I need to write a new script for that? The answer is probably. Unless I already included something in my mech snake. Did I include any useful scripts? No. Okay, right. I'll just write a new script. Light fade script. Light fade script. In fact, it's going to be kind of similar to the UI fader script. Let's copy and paste that first of all. It's a good basis to start from. And replace that with light fade script. Start intensity. Oh no, I want start intensity and I want end intensity. I don't think I need a min and a max. Well, I need min 0. You can't really go to a negative intensity on a light. But I don't need a maximum because lights can go really, really intense. Save the script, please. Which script? The UI fader? Yeah, when I package up this portal, they'll all come with it anyway. But it might, yeah, I guess there might be value in me also like just packaging this up in general. So my default intensity, let's let's just go for the standard 8. Is it 8 when you make a new light? New light is 8 intensity. Yeah, so I'll just say my default there is 8. But obviously I'm going to have to set that to like 5,000 for this one. None of this actually happens on the client. We've got a fade. We want to cancel our fade schedule. We want to do all that, but we don't want to be setting that instead. Well, I wonder if I can do this. If I search for every instance of self.widget.js.data.opacity and replace it with self.getEntity.intensity, that should cover quite a bit of our cases. We don't want self.widgetOpacity, we want self.intensity. We don't need to pass anything to the client. This can all happen on the server because it's not UI. Whoopsies. When is the build jam over? That's a good question. I'm going to send you a link. Should be in there, I think. Submissions end on October the 11th at 10 AM. That's UK time. Yeah, 5 days and 13 hours from now. Okay, let's take out the clienty servery stuff. Don't need it, don't need it. It's a much simpler script here. Self.intensity equals self.properties.startIntensity. Self.widgetOpacity is just going to be that. Going to be that. Let's replace every instance of start opacity, sorry, for start intensity. And every instance of end opacity for end intensity. Should also be 6 of those. Oh, 7 of those. Oh yeah, because we set it there as well. Have I got any more reference to opacity? Yes, I have. Self.intensity. Let's look for opacity. Okay, there's no more reference to that, so hopefully this is going to fade correctly now. We also don't need that stuff on client in it. We want that in here. We don't need the widget. All of this is just accessing the entity directly because it's a light entity. That sounds good, ZK Gaming. You don't need to make something amazing. I mean, we've got loads of submissions. I'm sure whatever you make will be really cool, but you know, you don't have to like make an absolute masterpiece. Anything you make is likely going to be very useful for someone. And there's obviously lots of prizes in different categories as well. So you don't have to enter the best thing to still be in with a good chance of winning a prize. So yeah, I'd say definitely go for it. Okay. Everything might work there. I've got my lights fade. I don't need the my widget thing. Why didn't that? Oh, I've got 2 properties with the same name. Damn it. End intensity. Oh, and I don't want it to just go to 1. I want to go to self.property, sorry. End intensity, and again here, when I fade out, the target I'm going for is actually my start intensity, so that you can use this script to fade from like a start intensity of a big number and come down to 0, or go between 2 different numbers that aren't 0, for example. Okay, that's all set up correctly. Let's give that an intensity of 5,000. That's where we want it to be. Actually, we can push that as well. Hopefully, I don't think I broke anything there. Yep. And then we're going to have to fade those in and out as well. So we're going to have to add even more to this. So there's 2 lights. I'll add 2 thingies. Then, what were these called? Something light. Yeah, portal emitter light 1. Fade in. Light. Portal emitted. Fade in. And when the door closes, fade back out. I think we're coming towards the end of the stream, by the way, so if anyone does have anything they wanted me to check out, or if you've tried to get me to check something out and I've missed your message, now is the time to let me know. In fact, I've just realised there's more lights in this, aren't there? There's like a main light inside it. Portal light, is that the one? Yeah. I think it would actually be quite cool if Portal Light had this script on it as well. So that goes to an intensity of 8. So I can just leave it with the default light fade script. Yep. One more thing in our events. Portal Light. Light fade script fade in. Portal light fade script fade out. Boom. Okay. Ooh, it looks like the light is still on the inside. Unless... have I got multiple lights inside it? Yeah, I think I might have. So those lights on the kind of emitter things up there are quite bright. If I step away... yeah, they also turn off. In fact, I might reduce the times on those, because you can't quite see them turn off like before the doors are nearly shut. So what I'm going to do, just bring down the times, let's say to 2 seconds, and the same with this portal light, let's bring down the time to 2 seconds. You think some people sent their build gem packages in the Discord? Yeah, I think they may have done, but I don't want to check those out unless someone specifically asks me to on the stream. Just in case someone was sharing them for a different reason, or like doesn't necessarily want them on the stream just yet, because they want to keep some element of surprise, that's fine. What other lights have I got in here? Oh, I've got 2 interior lights. Yeah, they could also fade on. Yeah, why not? Light fade script. Make them 2 seconds. Their intensity is only 2. So I'll go to an end intensity of 2. Did you know you can do this as well? You can just drag a script onto... can you? Sometimes you can. Nah. Or maybe not. Oh no, I think we got the bug at the moment where you can't. That should be fixed soon. Normally you can just drag a script component onto another entity and it will kind of bring all the properties with it. To 2. I think that's right. And back into these massive events. So what were these? Like interior light, I think they were called. Backing, interior light. Interior light. Fade in. Fade in. Couple of close events. Interior light, fade out. Fade out. Okie dokie. Alright. Let's have a look. So it should start pretty dark. Yep. No lights at all there. Oh, it tried to open there and then instantly stopped, but that was quite nice. So as I approach, there it all lights up and activates. And it's now ready to go. Awesome. I think that's working pretty nicely. Gonna try and end it on a high and not do anything else that might break it or ruin it. So I'm just gonna turn the light down a little bit and then give it a nicer floor and then have another look, and then we can wrap up there if no one's got any build gem packages that they specifically want me to take a look at right now. I know you mentioned turn back that there was some in Discord, but yeah, if anyone wants to just shout them out right now, I'll take a look. What would be a nice floor to this? Maybe like the yellow factory floor. Just draw it out around here. Oh, Russ, you put your thing over my area. Even though I kind of stole this area. Okay, let's see how that looks. There we go. That's pretty cool. Maybe I've gone a bit too dark with the world settings here. Let's get back to where we were. Oh, look how that kind of reflects on the floor as well. That looks quite nice. Okay, so I think I'm going to wrap the stream up there. It's not completely finished. Obviously, I couldn't quite work out why the middle cog is turning a slightly different amount to the other ones. What else was there? Oh yeah, I realized, because I showed you at the start, the trigger animation script doesn't need to call the specific entities that have an animation on them. It can just call the script, and it will go to all instances of that script. I realized that could actually be a bit of a problem for this package, because if you want multiple of these portals, you don't want all the doors opening when someone approaches one. So I am actually going to have to set those up as individual properties in the event. But that's not going to be the most interesting thing to watch. So I'll do that at another time. There we go, it's all working. Looks very slick. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I'll try and sort this out and get this submitted to the build jam. And I'm really excited to see what you guys are doing. And remember, there is still nearly a week, actually. So plenty of time to still enter. So much can be done in Crayta within a week. I mean, this portal here was, what, just last stream in this stream? So like 3 to 4 hours total. So you can definitely do stuff within a week. Cool. Alright, well thank you very much for watching. Hopefully Russ will be back next Tuesday, and don't forget we've also got a stream tomorrow, I think hosted by AJ and Selena. So we will see you over there. Have a good night.